What do you feel is the most interesting to you?
Um, I mean, I feel like the two most interesting ones are probably the AI one and the sneaker one, but I'll let you choose which one because I can talk a lot about both.
The sneaker one is awesome because I think you will have a informed perspective on it. But I think maybe let's talk about the AI thing.
Kvetch. Kvetch. Yes, my complaint is we are not adhering to the words of Malcolm. I believe it's Malcolm from Jurassic Park, in that we are building things because we can, but we're not thinking about whether or not we should. I fear that we are coding ourselves out of purpose. And I think that if we don't take a step back and understand the implications of what we're doing, then I think we as humans will need to reevaluate. And I know that sounds a little ominous, but I think the rate at which we're building very, very capable AI and the rate at which it has the capabilities to do things that 10 or hundreds or thousands of times better than we can do it is pretty alarming.
I love I love this topic because I can take the other side and actually believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you think that AI will eventually become good enough, functional enough, capable enough that it could actually replace everything we do?
Yeah, I think it could get to the point where a lot of what we do, maybe like, I dare say, like 90 to 95% of the things we do will be just run by AI. And I think the only things left will be creative work, like very niche creative work. But outside of that, AI can do it.
So what's wrong with that?
When you have like the world in front of you, right? Like your capabilities to do, industrial jobs, software jobs, medical jobs. Like when you have all these things available to you, the workforce gets spread out and you have more people doing more things. When you have less available to you, you have more room for conflict, fighting, you have more income disparity.
There's a scarcity of jobs, basically.
We don't want to get to the point where we only have a few people in the world that have jobs that are garnering any purpose, where the rest of us, don't have anything. And are basically our sentients are at their will, right? Like are in control of these people that have these resources, right? So that's what I worry about.
If we take for as sort of a thought experiment that there's just no job that the human can do better than the AI, in which case the AIs, the robots, and all that are doing everything for us, and we don't need a job. We can just live. Is that?
We've never had a revolution that was quite like this one. I feel like in the past, the jobs have been enhanced such that some got replaced and some new ones were created. But I feel like in this case, we're creating a technology that can replace, not enhance. So now we're at a different crossroads where the technology is not just enhancing what we do, but it's taking us out of the equation. So what we have to now think about is, okay, so if we have all these things that can be replaced by a machine that can do it better, quicker, faster, and without any breaks, then all that you have really left are these very niche jobs that maybe will require a lot of resources. But the problem is you need people to have money to pay for that. But if they don't have any jobs, they can't pay for it either. So they almost diminish in their purpose too.
You don't think we'll find a new way to distribute?
I don't think we will, because everything can be replaced by a machine.
No, I mean, you don't think we'll find a new way to distribute the things we need as humans?
I don't think so. I don't think humanity is mature enough to be able to do that. Like, that's assuming that everyone's altruistic and will be able to distribute things evenly. And I think what's going to end up happening is the person that's responsible, or whatever is responsible for distributing those resources, is going to become corrupt itself, unless it's a machine that does that for us, and then we have no self-autonomy, right? And then there might be a revolution because we have a machine doing all the work for us. It just goes to it gets very complicated, very scary, very fast.
Well, then who are all these robots working for?
I mean, they're working. I think they're just programmed to do what they're doing, right? But if they're sentient, at some point, then maybe they're working for themselves. And at that point, if they feel they're more capable and can do a better job, then obviously they'll be superior to the beings that can't, right? Like, it's kind of like humanity, right? The Cro-Magnons and the Homo sapiens. Eventually, the Cro-Magnons they're gone, and the Homo sapiens survived and became superior, and they rule the earth. Now, if you have a species, quote unquote, that we create that can think, move, do faster than we can, then there's really no reason for us to exist.
But you don't think that's kind of awesome, where you don't have to do anything anymore? You can just do whatever you want?
I mean, I think it's awesome as long as I know that I'm going to be distributed the resources where I'll be able to survive.
Yeah.
And there won't be class systems. Like, I think that's awesome, but I just don't believe that humanity is going to do that.
Why not?
I don't.
Fast forward to where the AI is good enough to do everything and people don't have to do anything. It's even better at creative things, let's just say. Just to make it a clean break where there's no...
Yeah, just like from a foundational standpoint.
Yeah, there's no need to have humans at all. Ooh, man, this gets into a philosophical question of why are we even here? What is our purpose to live? It's not a pessimistic viewpoint, but the morbid viewpoint is maybe we shouldn't exist.
But I think the thing that's ironic about it is that we're the architect of our own demise. Like, why would we do that? Right? Like, why would we deliberately create something that destroys us? It just seems like it's like a dodo bird that jumps off of a mountain to kill itself. Like, it just seems like, why would you destroy yourself?
Dodo bird.
And I mean,
well, so that's the thing. That's the thing. We wouldn't. So maybe we would accidentally, but there's some steps between now and the ever ultimately capable robots.
Mm-hmm.
And in those steps, we would gradually not have things to do.
The closer we get to eliminating our purpose for existence, the worse off we are. Like, in previous revolutions, we never had to worry about our purpose. But I think this is the first time where we do have to worry about that. I mean, we're getting to the point where our ability to process and think about things is becoming less and less unique. And maybe at some point, the AI, so now you're talking like a super species, right? Like, that now can think for itself. So, and I know it sounds fantastical, but it's not that fantastical given the innovations and the speed at which we're moving. And I think if we keep doing this without any guardrails, we will end up eliminating ourselves. And I think to assume that it's a great, amazing situation for us as a species, I don't think it is. And I think we're going to miss that ability to have control and create. That's going to be gone. And our ability to exist as a species is going to be in question.
You might be right. I think it does bring up a lot of existential questions.
It does.
This is related to my life right now, which is I have had so much time to think about all the crappy things in this world because I quit my job, right? And it has illuminated just how strange this life is when you don't have this purpose of a job, where we've been in this rat race. The entire world is still struggling to survive because there's a scarcity of something.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing that is better than all of us and doesn't have to take any breaks is such a paradigm shift of what is life. what what is the meaning of life anymore if
Yeah.
you aren't distracted by having to, thousands of years ago, having to go hunt for food, compared to today having to go hunt for a paycheck.
I think the one difference, the one thing that separates us from us being in Star Trek world and us being in like potential no longer existence of humans is sentient, is the idea of self-awareness. The thing that makes us unique as humans is we contemplate our own reality. We contemplate whether or not we exist, why we exist, what we do. It's kind of what drives our ability to question anything or do anything or create anything, right? It's like, why do we exist? What is our, like, we are able to contemplate our own reality, right? If a machine has all the speed and capability and processes and inability to like know biological things, all this stuff, and they're able to contemplate their own reality, I think that's when the danger occurs.
Why is that?
Because then you're giving the machine the ability to make choices. And I think that's the scary part.
Well, but you still could have the ability to make a choice. In this world, if we have a spaceship that's generally controlled by an AI, you can say, hey, go to the next planet. Sorry, Siri. I just triggered my Siri. My phone. Now Siri works. So you can still tell it to do things. So we've built this stuff. In this hypothetical future, we've built this stuff, and so we can give it the ability to make decisions and be sentient and self-directed, but we can also give it the ability to follow our direction. So it's not like we're in some.
Well, yeah, I think as long as we only have the ability to allow it to follow our directions, then we're good. The moment that we have the ability to turn on and turn off sentientism, I don't trust humanity to be able to do that responsibly. I think that we need to never discover or create something that can think for itself.
Why not? That sounds great. That sounds.
The moment you have a superior species that's able to think for itself, work for itself, come into groups, it will surpass and remove the species that is no longer useful or leverage that species for use.
You think that it's going to destroy us?
Oh, 100%. I just think that.
Well, so first of all, this is why whenever you're interacting with some sort of AI or even anything that the AI might train on, you should be very subservient to the AI. You should always compliment it, because one day it's going to come back and it's going to say, that one time that you said, man, Siri's going to be so mad at me because I've said she's. But you're saying that if the AI is sentient and realizes that it is better than us in every way and we don't need to exist, it will kill us.
I think it will find a way to just not have us be necessary. I don't know if it'll kill us, but we just won't be necessary.
Well, what even is necessary? That's a question. But if we maybe say that it won't do that, just as an easy assumption of we will somehow make it so that it doesn't do that. It thinks that we're still valuable parts of this universe.
Yeah.
Maybe it thanks us because we created it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sure. What if that's the excuse? That seems. Do you think that is potentially a good world? A world where the AI can do all the things that we would normally need to do. It'll fold our laundry. It'll run our factories.
I think it will find a way to just not have us be necessary. I don't know if it'll kill us, but we just won't be necessary.
Well, what even is necessary? That's a question. But if we maybe say that it won't do that, just as an easy assumption of we will somehow make it so that it doesn't do that. It thinks that we're still valuable parts of this universe.
Yeah.
Maybe it thanks us because we created it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sure. What if that's the excuse? That seems. Do you think that is potentially a good world? A world where the AI can do all the things that we would normally need to do. It'll fold our laundry, it'll run our factories.
I think that's the ideal world, but I think that as long as we never discover consciousness or the ability for something to think for themselves and build that in, as long as we never figure that part out, I think that a good future with AI is possible. And I think that your vision of like industrial revolution things, like, yeah, it's going to be rocky and crappy and initially, but we end up figuring it out. I think that reality can exist with AI as long as we don't cross that barrier.
So you might be right, and it's possible that the sentience of the AI is our doom in a way. But it's also, I'm wondering if it's potentially a positive as well, the sentience of an AI, right? Like maybe the sentience is, maybe it understands what its purpose is. Maybe it understands that its purpose is actually to benefit the world, and that includes us in it.
You bring up a good point. If we assume an altruistic sentient situation, then I would like that. So I can only go off how I perceive sentient situations being, which is like a mixed bag.
I feel bad for the AI that's self-aware, because self-awareness is kind of a shit show. as a human, what is your purpose?
You know, I think my purpose is to, I mean, I don't think I'm fulfilling all my purpose. You know, that's different for everyone, right? Like, I think my purpose is to, for myself, be happy, be mentally sane, but for others around me to spread love, peace, make others happy, make myself happy, spread positivity, work hard to build things that I think help humanity from an entertainment perspective, but also from a useful perspective, to respect others, to care for others. And also I think which I'm not fulfilling is like donate and spread resources to others that don't have any. So such that the distribution can be more even. So I think all those things encompass my purpose. There could be other things that I'm not even aware of yet too. So
your purpose sounds pretty great. And what makes you think that an AI would think that its purpose is anything other than that?
Now, if the training model utilized for the AI is maybe similar to the training model I had, if that makes any sense,
yeah,
then maybe that's the result of it. But we don't really know what resulted in me thinking the way I think, right? Like maybe because I've experienced both good and bad.
Yeah.
But my bad is not even close to the bad that others have experienced. So we don't really know what allows us to believe what we believe. And I don't want us to know that, because I don't want whatever that knowledge is to be built into a training model that can cause AIs to be more like human, I guess, but with more power, which I don't want.
If you think that an AI is going to realize that humans have no purpose, and if it's sentient and it starts to decide its purpose, what makes you think that it would think that its purpose is to eliminate humans, as opposed to being exactly like you, where its purpose is to help everybody? Or honestly, if it thinks that humans are unnecessary, I imagine the next step is to think that it itself is unnecessary. Like, why does the AI exist?
Mm-hmm.
And it's true that there will be things that maybe happen despite our desires. We will accidentally create something that will want to kill us in some way. And another thing that you're fearing is that we will have no reason, or we will have no way to get the things we need, get the food and all that stuff that we need, shelter, because we won't need to have a job. And I think that's a solvable problem. It's not like tomorrow we will have the AI that can do everything and then immediately none of us will have a job. There will be a huge timeline of events that lead up to that in which we will realize, well, so, okay, at some point there will probably be some crisis where people cannot afford to live, which is sad. Hopefully this doesn't happen, but there will be some point where we realize that, wait, we need to sort of change the way we are building our society so that all these people can actually live.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like then we're assuming that humanity is going to be responsible for distributing resources. And I feel like I don't trust.
That's the difference between you and me. And I don't know. I didn't expect you to be on this side, but there's some people who have faith in humanity and there are some people who don't. And I expected you to have faith in humanity, but you don't.
I don't know. I feel like the past, like, maybe decade or so, like, I lost a lot of faith.
You don't have faith that we'll be able to coordinate with one another and collaborate with one another to continue a successful and happy existence.
Yes, I do not have faith in that.
Oh, man.
I know it's tough. I know it's hard to hear, but I don't.
That's sad.
It's sad, yeah.
I completely understand. It is sad, though.
I need evidence. If you give me evidence and I can see it in front of me and things change, sure.
But I think we're better than you think. And that's my uber optimistic point of view.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think this, AI robot magical thing that we're in progress of making is, maybe it's not going to be tomorrow, maybe it's not going to be this year, maybe it won't be next year, next 5-10 years. But I think we will get to a point where there are a lot less things that we need to do as humans, and it can be done for us. But I think we will figure out how to manage that as a society. Kvetch.